Good morning, good morning. And welcome to Wednesday, the 8th of April. There we go, it's done its thing. All right, so good morning. And today we have the type of day where I think just this whole month is very much using your awareness, all right? It's using your common sense, which a lot of people seem to have forgotten that it's a thing that you can use, is your common sense, all right? So don't get too overwhelmed and drawn up into the drama that is around you. All right, so the moon is in Sagittarius until 10:04 p.m. when it then moves into Capricorn. So we still have this sense of um, let's think about it, higher cognition. Remember, so we've got higher education, spirituality, philosophy, judicial system. So, there's just that. Let's sit and think about it. So, especially the judicial system. So yesterday I sat down, I did the rest of the month's aspects, not the words, just all of the aspects that were happening for the rest of the month. And I very much likened it to watching a court case play out. All right, you've got two sides, and if you can sit in the experience with your awareness, all right, so you've got your common sense, you've got your sense of self, you've got your authenticity, you've got your sense of justice, and there's this calm justice will prevail type of thing. Yes, there's going to be a lot of Aries push. All right, there could be anger, there could be a lot of, war of words and we're seeing it happen around us. However, Venus is in Taurus. Now, Venus is also a war goddess. All right. So in Taurus, she is concerned with the things that are of value in the world, all right? We can see that playing out as well. With Uranus at 29 degrees of Taurus, there is this unpredictability about our security, and that is because of the value of things and the value that we hold of things. So Venus is in that space, but she's also quite calm. She's in a rulership. So yes, there are a lot of things in Aries, and Mars is still in Pisces for another 2 days. But, there are some grounding factors, all right? There are definitely some things that you can grab onto to just keep yourself calm, all right? Remember, we're trying to steer away from adrenal fatigue. All right, that's something that we very much have to be aware of with all of this Aries energy. We've got headaches, all right? Aries rules the head. So watch out for headaches, eye strain, like I said, adrenal fatigue, just like too much, all right? So we want to keep the heat out of ourselves too. Inflammation is another possibility as well, just too much heat in the body, all right? So Ash, if you're here, is it Vashti? I'm sorry, there is a Vedic term for too much heat. I'm not quite sure what it is. Ash, if you happen to be watching this, can you pop in the antidote to too much heat, please? Now, I'm going to say water and keeping cool and, just keeping your calm. All right, so let's have a look at the words. Actually, I'll click the button and say g'day. All right. Good morning, DG. Look, Amy, look, it's a family event. I love it. Good morning, Sean. Good morning, Louise. Hello, Heather. Incredible headache for 24 hours, just eased this morning. Yeah, that's going to be something, especially if you are prone to headaches. Just keep all of your toolbox handy. Whatever it is that you do to mitigate headaches, please just keep those handy and in mind. All right, so let me just read the words. All right, so now, in the title, I've said you may want to speak out about something, all right? So sensitive topics could be on your mind all day. However, you may want to think twice about how you'll express it so it doesn't cause any unnecessary conflict. Approaching situation with understanding and integrity will mitigate any possible misunderstandings. Now, Mercury is still in shadow. All right, Mercury is at 20 degrees, all right, and it's still got 2 degrees to go before it's out of shadow. So I can't remember, it might have been around February 24 that it went into this space. So I'm wondering if also you're dealing with topics from back around that end of February mark as well. All right, so if it all gets a bit much, obviously go for a walk or exercise to expend any pent-up energy in a more positive way. Again, maybe you can just, physically shake it out if you are in a situation, obviously, that you can't just jump up and down or go and scream into a pillow or just, express frustration in a safe way that's not going to get you into trouble. Try that. All right, so now looking at the moon today. All right, so again, like I said, moon in Sagittarius being ruled by Jupiter in Cancer. All right, this does talk a lot about homelands as well and our home. All right, so where do you feel at home? Like myself, you've seen Mick and I are doing renovations on the house, but it's also, Venus in Taurus is also about the homeland and the resources of your homeland. Can see it in the world. All right, so first of all, now after 11 o'clock, a inconjunct to Uranus starts. All right, so moon in Sag, inconjunct Uranus. Again, I just think, like I was saying about the courtroom analogy that I'm going to use for the rest of the month. All right, you're sitting there, you know your truth. Even though you could be listening to someone over there spouting lies or untruths or not quite the truth, it's not your turn yet to talk. You just sit calm and don't look like a fool, all right? Because, ultimately we hope that the universe will always find balance and good will always prevail over evil. I know it's a bit of a trope, but I think it is the case, all right? So prepare for that allowance to shift over after 11. Now at 2 p.m, Moon trine Chiron. All right, since we are sitting in this space of awareness and connection, spirituality, the trine to Chiron allows us to speak freely about what our problem is, all right, whether it's our wound or whether it's about how we are moving towards our strength, all right? Remember, once you have your Chiron return or you have strong Chiron lessons, you understand what the point is, all right? And then you are able to adjust accordingly, all right? And you are your authentic self, because when you can own your shit, then it's not a problem. If someone says, me, you're like, I own it. It's not, I've integrated, I don't have a problem. So you just do you. And when it's my time to talk, you must respect me and my boundaries as well. So boundaries are another big one at the moment. So that was at 2 p.m. All right, so adjustments first, being able to speak what your issue is around 2. Now at 8 p.m, we have the moon is square Mars and in conjunct Uranus at the same time, all right? So that Uranus one is between 11 and 8, but the moon is square Mars at that time as well. So this is another one where just watch the way that you are talking about things, all right? Mars in Pisces, again, we're trying to connect in with that inner strength, all right? That person within us that is stoic or meaningful or, aware of what's going around in their own universe, all right? So yes, there is a square. We just maybe need to pay attention to how we are expressing our emotions, all right? Because it's at 8 p.m, the moon is still in Sag, so we do have that, the higher awareness. When it moves into Capricorn, that's when we can start planning or, laying out a few more ground rules or discipline, determination, all those type of things. All right, now after 7 o'clock, the moon starts to square Saturn. All right, so again, I think that if you can identify the tension that is happening after that sort of 7 o'clock mark, then it might help you calm down the Mars square, because you're like, all right, here's that effort required. And we know that Saturn rewards for effort, all right? So effort required after 7, or disciplined action comes to that 8 o'clock mark. You're having a look around and you're like, okay, I can do better. I don't need to just blah. Because that's when tsunami type things happen, Mars in Pisces at these end degrees, all right? So we can just control our flow. Maybe that's a good way to put it. All right, so now, another thing that is happening at 2 a.m. tomorrow, so it's very strong now, is Mars sextile Uranus. Now, this is again, Mars in Pisces still, Uranus in Taurus. Both of those are very feeling, connected places, and I think it's more about inspired action. There is an ability, there is an opportunity to connect. It just takes you to actually, the effort is required, all right? So with a trine, it's an easy flow, but you've still got to get to the top of the slippery dip. With this one, I feel like it's more of a, the cogs are able to turn, but you've actually got to hand crank. Like in the old days when people had those beautiful grandfather clocks, I'm sure people still have them, but at a certain time every day they would go there and they would, wind the key so that time and routine kept on going, all right? So, I don't know, that felt like a good way to put it. So in the sky today, the sun is now starting to make its connection to Chiron, all right? Mercury is coming up to conjunct Mars. Again, very sensitive things, but when you own it and you're aware of it, people can't hurt you if you don't let them. People can't continue to ignore a situation if you approach it with sensitivity and integrity. Again, it's how you communicate what you're trying to say that is, the response that you're going to get. Again, awareness of your person and how you're trying to get things across. So there's also that. Like I said, going through the rest of the month, it's like a court case, it really is like a court case. You feel like you feel like justice will prevail, all right? But you've just got to keep control of your own emotions here. So, getting into... So now, interesting, on Friday, when Mars does move into Aries, I've been saying, yay, we're going to get our energy back straight away. And this is sort of the case. However, Mars meets Neptune on the 13th. So I don't think it's going to be an instant influx into volatility or our energy coming back. I still think there might be this collective connection, or maybe it's going to take a few days for us to sort of build those battery charges back up again. So yes. So interesting times, ladies, and gents, interesting times. All right, let me just click the button again and say, good morning, Elizabeth. How are you? Good morning, Christy. Good morning, Caroline. How are you? So nice to see you. Caught that courtroom advice. So excellent. And Deborah, oh my God, everybody please wish Deborah the best of luck. She's going for an interview at 11. She's absolutely going to win and impress. So all of my love to you, Deborah. I hope you have the best experience that you can. So that's pretty much me, guys. I have got a lemon and chia cake in the oven, which I have to go and get out because it's been an hour now. I have turned the oven off. It's okay. It's not burning. But yeah, so I hope everyone has a fabulous one. I won't be home until probably after 12, but I'm around if anybody needs a chat. So I will see you guys tomorrow, and massive love to you all. Bye-bye.